Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to look at workplace culture in Japan. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 7th year of the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guy committed to your success. The president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, a best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. My new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, is going to be released shortly. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. Now, this podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's handy Japanese phrase is Mada wakanai. Mada wakanai. I don't know yet. I don't know yet. Mada wakanai. Mada wakanai. Mada wakanai. I don't know yet. When's it going to be ready? I don't know yet. Mada wakanai. Mada wakanai. Mada wakanai. Remember, this is casual, very casual Japanese, informal Japanese, just between friends. Don't say that to the client. They won't be happy. This is episode number 433. And today we are talking about the right Japan workplace culture. Starting something new means we start with a clean slate and can create the culture we want to predominate throughout our organization. However, how many people get that opportunity? We're talking about a minuscule collection of opportunities here, and it is much more likely we'll be inheriting an existing culture created over time by our predecessors. That statement in itself may be problematic because did they actually have a view on the type of culture they wanted, or did it just evolve over time or in spite of them? If we're inheriting an existing workplace culture, that doesn't mean we cannot change it for the better. However, we should keep in mind that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and we may be tempted to import the dominant headquarter culture to Japan. Good luck with that, and let me know how it is working out for you. Actually, don't bother. I know the answer already. Our starting point is the most difficult. Japanese business isn't focused exclusively on the right answers. In the West, we spend all of our energy and time to come up with the right answers to the issue. Japan, however, focuses on what are the right questions. That is very wise when you think about it. So let's start with what are the right questions we need to ask to identify the type of culture we believe is best for the business in Japan. One of those questions could be, what is already working well? This seems an easy enough inquiry. Imagine, though, what it would look like if things were in reverse. A foreigner turns up to your company as the boss, and they can't read anything written in English and can only communicate in depth in their language with a few of the staff. By the way, they want to create a new culture. That foreigner would be you in Japan. So we should spend a lot of time educating ourselves about why things here are the way they are. After having spent a lot of time and effort to understand the cultural, work style, linguistic, and values differences, another good question to ask would be, how does it all connect together? The existing culture in Japan may in fact be an accumulation of compromises, enabling everyone to work together in harmony. Find out more. We come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Our show today is brought to you by, on the 19th of October, we're doing storytelling. October 28th, time management. November 4 and 5, we're doing high impact presentations. And on the 11th of November, we're doing successful public speaking. Our website is www.dale-carnegie, carnegie.co.jp. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 1,000 for you there at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, as well as my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, we have Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. In the West, the culture tends to be dictatorial with no compromises. The boss says, if you don't like the way we do things around here, you can leave. And that is what often happens. The new broom turns up and sweeps a bunch of people out the door. That same scenario would be an extremely rare occurrence in Japan. We need to begin by creating our map of the corporate terrain to understand how the pieces all work together and why. What are the personal obligations ensnaring the senior leaders as they work with their colleagues? Who owes who, and what do they owe? In the West, we have a more transactional culture, so these types of obligations aren't as clearly defined. Resistance to an idea will arise in Japan for no obvious reason, as far as the new boss can determine. It is a rational, logical idea to institute the change, yet certain key people are against it. But it's hard to fathom precisely why they are opposed. The silken tethers may be almost invisible, but we have to uncover them. We need to know what we are facing and then be able to put in a plan to overcome the opposition. For example, you discover this was the previous chairman's preference, and his subordinates are loath to insult his memory and change it. Why? They still feel obligated to him. Would that happen in the West? Probably not. The new boss, trying to drive culture change, holds meetings with the team, drives the agenda, observes that people are nodding in agreement, and then gets back to work. After some weeks, it becomes apparent that nothing is happening on that culture change project, which we all agreed on. But Did we agree? Major decisions in Japan are made through nemawashi, or groundwork, where idea sponsors talk informally with the other decision makers, harmonizing the idea to get agreement. In the actual meeting, the idea is rubber stamped. That isn't how we do it at home. We get into a meeting room, have a robust debate, agree, and get on with it. You say, jolly good. Yes, in Japan, can mean I'm listening to the words coming out of your mouth, but I don't necessarily agree with any of it, and I am not going to do any of it either. This isn't quite the culture change you had in mind. You realize you have to change your cultural bias and start working the system. This system, by the way, has been around for a very long time. Ask yourself, what do I know that is so insightful that the whole country of Japan should drop their way of doing things and do it my way? Counterintuitively, the culture here favours execution speed once the decision is taken because all the resistance has been removed. So which is better? Slower decision-making and fast execution, or fast decision-making and slower execution? To change the workplace culture of organizations, Japan first requires a big breath to be taken and then gain a thorough understanding of the existing culture. Once the boundaries are clearer, then the better questions can be asked about, why do we need to keep doing it like this around here? Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Take what you found valuable, immediately put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. Be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.